The dark truth on Robyn Brown's ex-husband. Robyn Brown doesn't really talk about her first marriage because of the horrific truth about her ex-husband, David. Robyn Brown was married for 8 years before she ended her first marriage with David Jessup. Marriages are a very common thing, but Robyn's case was anything but. On the surface, David might just look like every other guy, but when you go deeper, there are extremely dark secrets about him that would haunt anyone. According to Robyn, her main reason for leaving David was because he was abusive towards her and their children, and that honestly explains a lot because she did mention that early on in her marriage to David, she felt devastated when she found out that she was pregnant with their first child, Dayton. Now, this had me wondering, why would Robyn feel that scared for finding out that she was pregnant? I mean, it's not like she and David didn't have, the means to take care of the child, and they were already married in the first place. So what could have caused such a reaction from Robyn? And it just turns out that Robyn's fear extended far beyond what anyone could have ever imagined. But even with her fear, Robyn still struggled to make her marriage with David work. A couple of years down the line, she has 2 more kids with David, and then they finally just called it quits. But it didn't take too long for Robyn to meet Cody and get married once again. So you would think that David would at least try to be, supportive of Robyn's new relationship, since they've already been separated for 3 years or whatever. However, David's reaction to Robyn's new marriage was far from supportive. David apparently decided to stop seeing his children, and then he terminated all his parental rights. I mean, can you guys believe this? Rumor has it that he gave them up because of Robyn's decision to appear on Sister Wives, but still, that doesn't even make any sense. Because what type of guy gives up his parental rights just because his ex-wife decided to move on, with her life? And honestly, I believe that David never wanted to be a dad in the first place, and maybe this was actually something that he had thought about doing for a while after he divorced Robyn, and then Cody came along and it just made it much easier for him. But I guess we'll never know why he really did what he did, because no one knows what really went on besides Robyn and David. And honestly, over the years, David has displayed a lot of sketchy behaviors. You might even say that he kind of acts crazy. So it didn't really come as a surprise to a lot of people when they found out that he was arrested in 2018. And David's arrest may not have come as a surprise, but what he was arrested for was really what shocked everyone. And honestly, that says a lot about the kind of person that David really is. And I guess you could say that Robyn was lucky to get away from him when she could. Because apparently David was arrested for physically attacking someone, but the court papers didn't really tell us who the person was. All we know is that the person might have been a member of his family, and it turns out that he had attacked this person and actually caused them physical injuries, and this is absolutely insane. I mean, why would he even try to hurt another human being? And now I can't even stop myself from wondering what exactly Robyn and all her children must have gone through while she was still married to David. I mean, the more I think about it, it honestly becomes sick and disturbing. And I mean, if David could do something so terrible to a family member, I guess we can only imagine what he was capable of doing to a stranger, and that is just totally creepy. And even though Robyn succeeded in getting away from David just in time, she didn't really end up getting too far from him, and what I'm about to say next is going to leave you very shocked. So it turns out that Robyn ended up remarrying David's cousin. Yes, you guys heard that right. Cody is related to David, and honestly, I was so shocked out of my mind when I first found out about this, but then if you really sit down and think about it, it kind of just makes sense, because David and Cody have a pretty striking resemblance. And I mean, if you place their pictures side by side, you would literally think that David and Cody are like brothers, and you wouldn't be that far off the mark, because it turns out that Cody is David's 3rd cousin. And I know this might not make a lot of sense to many of us, but it is very common for Mormons in Utah to be related because they have a very small pool of ancestors. And if this isn't bizarre enough, then you're in for a surprise, because Robyn and David's connection goes beyond their children and David's relationship with Cody, because it turns out that David is also related to Christine. And David might be Cody's 3rd cousin, but he's also Christine's 1st cousin. And this means that David is blood related to Robyn's other children, and this is just so crazy. I mean, I guess you could say that Robyn literally kept it within the family, and the fact that Robyn and David are still connected to each other in one way is pretty insane. But for now, no one really knows where David is. He pled not guilty to his case in 2018 and was ordered to pay fines after his charge was changed from assault to disorderly conduct, and since then it seems that he was just dropped off the face of the earth. I mean, David's story is so weird, you can't even tell if another crazy thing is going to pop up in the future. But of course, I would still like to know what you guys think of his story so far, and like always guys, if you enjoy this video, please do me a huge favor, that like, follow, share, subscribe button, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.